ability for Weibo.
This has been such a dominant pick. I do not understand the Ivor, and yes, Weiwei did show it in the Ultra Prime series. But this was the champion that you banned in Game 1. This was something you didn't want to see, and it seems like Weibo, they're not going to be changing gears all that much. They're even going to be able to get the Rel yet again here for Crisp. And like you were saying, the flexibility of this Tristana is the ability to actually play in two separate lanes, whether that be in the mid lane or in the bottom lane. Depending on what the bot lane matchup is, I think this is still very favorable. And I love what Weibo are doing here, getting Weiwei this Maokai. Yes, you gave up the Sejuani, but this is still such an incredible pick. Now on the opposite side for AL, getting this Jace, something that should be able to gain priority and come into the late game, either be a side lane threat or a team fight menace. Pair it up with a Sejuani, I think that's perfect.
I'm thinking of a meme with like a Hydra, but it's trees. You cut one tree down, another grows in its place, and it's Maokai. For Weibo Gaming, they do get that big, strong combo as well for Weiwei. A lot of control around objectives, but we see an opt-in to utility for zhiqiuyi, but also a lot of setup now from Anyone's Legend, where we didn't necessarily have that in game number 1.
Surprising enough that the Ashe is being banned. This is a champion that
give
has
it away from the Maokai.
Yeah, basically, but like, it's so weird because Ashe has seen a little bit of priority, right? We've seen it pop up here and there, but it just feels like they really wanted to make sure that there's no killer bottom lane. I wonder how much practice there is behind the scenes of Ashe Rel, because that sounds insufferable to play against as a bot lane. Like, you're getting slowed, you're giving free setup for Rel as an AD carry, you're going to be pumping out deeps as well. We don't have to talk about it. It's already been banned. I'm just mentally exploring the fact as we get further into this. I love the Ziggs ban. You've been seeing it. We've been seeing it over in the US here in the LCS Challengers League. But Ziggs Tristana is such a powerful duo, and yet again, it's going to be stopped.
I also think it's so interesting going back to the Rel pick here for Crisp. It's not a pick that he's necessarily gravitated towards, right? He's definitely been hovering the Rakans a lot more, but going into this series, he had only played it once before in the summer split here, and to see him have such domineering performance on that and so much setup for the team, I love that they're opting right back into that one. As the counter to that, the answer will be the Nautilus on the other side to pair up with the Varus.
So now we'll get to see from Weibo who is going to be taking this Tristana. Will it be Xiaohu, or will they try to find a different matchup in the bottom lane? There's not too many marksmen that I think would want to play up against Varus, except maybe something like the Caitlyn. You're trying to match range for range at this point. Maybe try to go for an aggressive bot lane, but you already have this Rel. They're going to try and save that, grabbing the Renekton. So we'll even see AL here giving over counter pick to one of their solo laners. We've been seeing a lot of mid lane Jace. That top lane Jace seems to be a foregone conclusion. Something we haven't seen all that much recently, but still available for them if they want to try and grab this. And I love the hovers we're getting.
Let's go. All right, we get lights. Samira locked in. If you want a little bit of advanced play, you got to look at how aggressive they can be in the bottom lane. And this, I was going to highlight. The instant lock into the Renekton for Weibo, that is literally TheShy saying, take the Quinn. You won't. You will not do it. I bet you won't. And AL, they decide they don't want it either. They go with the Cassante. As you see the little Snickers coming across for TheShy and ZDZ. This matchup will still remain as important as ever.
I love how both top laners, they crack a little bit of a smile, just a small smirk. They're like, yeah, I know. You're not taking that chance. Don't worry about it. Like you're saying, ZDZ here on the Cassante should be able to find some 1v1s, but when we look at the compositions here for Weibo, they'll have excellent river control with this Maokai. Renekton should be able to gravitate towards this Rift Herald and give them control of that top side objective, and we're looking for the all-in from Light and Crisp. Xiaohu pushing out that wave constantly and does have some kill threat. I want to see how AL, their mid-jungle, can interact. If you can get this Tristana behind early on, this Sejuani and Jace can be a menace coming into team fights later.
I think one of the biggest things I have to look at, though, is this bot lane 2v2, because if Light and Crisp get ahead, you are not going to have a fun game here at all. So seeing early focus from Weiwei down towards that bottom side, see what happens in the solo lane specifically. But my eyes are actually on Xiaohao, because I think in game number 1 on the Viego, we didn't necessarily have that proactivity we wanted to have. You didn't have the lead that you want to have for anyone's legend. But we're going into game 2 now, and it is put up or shut up for anyone's legend here, as our first series of the day is coming to a close potentially, as Weibo need every win possible to make sure they can get that top 4 finish of the regular season. Anyone's legend are just trying to put the pieces back together. Can zhiqiuyi be the difference maker in the bot lane? And can they learn their lessons from game number 1? We'll see as we hit Summoner's Rift for the second time. It's anyone's legend versus Weibo Gaming.
Careful. Oh, here we go, here we go. Come the Weibo. Yep. We talked about it game 1, but there's just a huge fan base for Weibo. Especially we saw during the pick ban there that TheShy just has so many fan signs for him. Now harder, please, please, harder.
Oh no, this can't happen early. You do have Xiaohao right around the corner, and Zorah with zhiqiuyi, we're roaming up. So just a health trade early on. Harder will have to get a reset going.
zhiqiuyi now? Okay, I love this.
God,
Weibo
I'm so
getting
glad
aggressive.
he didn't walk around the
All
corner right
of them
there.
in there.
God, they're so scared. They know something could be going. No.
Oh, no.
All right, run away. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Weibo, we're trying to get a level 1. Don't end up finding it. They will have that vision. Will be cleared, so some advantage in bot lane. Look at that. 2v2. Go the way of anyone's legend. But we'll get the topside starts for both junglers.
Both of these junglers should know where each other are. The fact that they were able to show off on bot side means that, hey, if Weiwei, if he doesn't have a camp, we don't know exactly where he is. They actually have a ward on that, so misspoke there a little bit. They know that Weiwei's on top side. Xiaohao, by process of elimination with that ward going down, they should know that this Sejuani is on the top side. You see right now, Xiaohao is actually crossing the river here, taking the red buff, wanting to take the fight immediately to this Maokai.
I like that a lot. The skirmishing power early from the Sejuani is so strong, and you already forced the flash out of Weiwei.
Incredible. Oh, here comes the bot lane.
We do get flashes coming out in the cleanse by zhiqiuyi, but he's got a lot of damage back. The cleanse will come out from Light to try to get that damage out of the ignite. The 2v2 does go a little bit awry. You got summoner spells burned on both sides, but more importantly, Light still has his flash. Zorah still has his flash.
But it is such a dangerous position. Neither of these marksmen have their HP pots left, so now damage is going to be more and more critical. It's going to be more permanent here. Crisp, I don't know if he knows he's on the ward. There's no ping there to tell him that they know that it's there. And I love that they're going for short trades, because the longer that fights go versus Avaris, the longer they're going to have to be able to take you down.
Xiaohao wants to go right big on a Weiwei, and Weiwei's going down to first blood. They're going to turn on Xiaohu, but he does have the rocket jump out of there.
What?
What just happened?
It's the hammer swing!
Oh my goodness, a double kill to Harder.
That is one of the best parts of playing Jace. If you can
insane.
land the E mid-air, it knocks you right back to where you're supposed to be. A correction there. I'm sure Xiaohu is just as confused as we are. And that's a double kill going over.
After the rocket, so you still would only go the little distance, but he went back to where he originally started and got pushed from that point.
That's why the Jace E is just super buggy, man. Like, if you're in the middle of the jump, if you're in the middle of getting launched and he hits you with it, it just does not matter. We get to check it in the replay here as to what happened.
I don't know if I want to.
Weiwei has no flash in this position, and Harder full-on commits. Xiaohu tries to get out of here. We get it?
I gotta
okay,
see this.
Here we go. So if you buffer this correctly, he did it mid-air. He put it...
Dude, there's no way.
What is this?
That should not happen. That should not happen. He should get knocked back from where he lands. That's actually insanity. But it is anyone's legend who take full advantage of that. And the guy that we wanted to step up, the 1v1 king from 2022, he makes it happen.
He said, I can't do it on Annie. I probably can't do it on Nico. But give me a Jace. Give me something that has a little bit of kill threat early on, some agency, some tools for me to play. And I'll see what I can do here in this matchup now. 2 kills for him. And Jace, if we continue to see them play for this champion, I mean, he will be walking into team fights, bursting out multiple members. This Samira is very low range, and same with Xiaohu. Even though he is playing Tristana, you do get the additional range from the passive. You have to go in. You have to be able to set off your explosive charge to really get to see the fireworks that this champion imbues in the game.
And you're gonna have to use the Blade World to block accelerated shock blast at this point.
Yeah.
And, TheShy is going to take heavy trades onto ZDZ in the top side. Now we want to look back at the map state. We have Dragon coming up and pressure from Weibo's bot lane down here. They get the double knock up onto Zorah, but they can't get the damage onto zhiqiuyi because Light, again, doesn't have the range to deal with this Varus just yet. You've got to go all in, and you've got to go hard in the paint.
Surprised you pulled out that reference. It's a long time since I've heard that song. I think
A little bit of basketball, you know, no big deal.
Yeah. Okay, respect. I was speaking of a different reference. That's a song reference, but I don't know if we can bring that up on this broadcast.
Yeah, no, probably
I've
not.
seen the
I'm
playlist.
gonna stick to hard the paint basketball reference. Let's go ahead with that.
Yeah, I've seen we've already seen the playlist here for the LPL. I don't think it would make the playlist, unfortunately. But now here, Dragon spawning. We've got 2 minutes before this Rift Herald. And we've seen a couple of backs already. Actually, Xiaohu trying to get fancy with it.
I don't know. He didn't have the charge there. Just wants a buster shot back, and now he doesn't have a way out. Harder is looking for it, but knows that there's a TP coming, so he has to back away. Luckily, Xiaohu has good teammates.
A winning trade there for Harder. He gets the flash out from Xiaohu as well as getting this teleport from TheShy. So it will be an advantage going over to AL. They will start to gather a lead in top side. ZZ will be able to crash this, which is just a few minions that they're not getting access to, and the Dragon being started for anyone's legend. Similar to what we saw in game 1, but in that game, at least, there were kills going over. There were some kills being traded to Weibo in advantage over in the top side. This time around, weiwei's here. He's level 4. Do they want to try and make a turn afterwards?
To take a fight here, as well as the Glacial Augment does come through to slow down. Chris Tress going with the crash down. Does put himself out as a little bit of bait to put the Blade Whirl pretty big from Light. You do have Harder coming to make the difference. Weiwei takes an overextended fight, but Xiaohu is trying to get the resets here himself. He gets a big bomb in the middle of everybody, but it's the double marksman comp that has to come online right now, but it's too damn early, Alk. You've got to get out, but AL don't want to let you. You got an accelerated shock blast with your name on it, and the rest of AL chasing down Xiaohu. He's going to be close to it, but it's zhiqiuyi who gets the kill, and look at the goal that anyone's legend have gotten. A full KP for Xiaohao, 3 kills for Harder, and 2 for zhiqiuyi.
It's just going to hell in a handbasket now for Weibo. Everything's going wayward. They could not find a winning fight for themselves, and it comes off of the back of, why are we trying to fight when we don't have a level 6 on either of Light or Crisp? This is just not the matchup we want to try and go for. We're talking about those short trades. It is all in the ability for Samira to pop off with that demon style. Just isn't able to find it. I mean, Xiaohu wasn't in that fight. Why are we trying to go for that trade onto the Dragon? It feels Weibo a little bit desperate.
I mean, you see there, that's the start of the desperation. Chris not getting that first crash down there and Harder coming in. Weiwei does take a brunt of the damage from Harder, and Xiaohu has a decent angle. This re-engage from Chris was pretty big, but at this point, you don't have anybody left to fight. You're a double marksman comp at this early in the game.
Double marksman and all of your tanks are unavailable. And in the same vein, if Xiaohu's in that position, you have to imagine Harder is just going to be matching, especially with Jace being able to get some movement speed as well. He has to be matching you. And now Xiaohao,
Crisp
unfortunately,
is here. Xiaohao didn't have any idea this was going to be coming. Zorah is already here as well, though, but TheShy should be able to pick this one up. No, nice blast from Xiaohao. The Nature's Grasp actually sets the difference, and Xiaohu has shown up. Harder's in trouble. This is a bit of a sandwich you don't want to be a part of, AL, as that's 1 down for Xiaohu. He gets a 2nd kill, and now he's getting those rocket jump resets. He gets pushed back towards ZDZ, who will end up getting out of dodge, but my goodness, a nice bit of cohesion from Weibo.
All of this started during that replay. TheShy had done an all-in over to ZDZ, trying to get his HP bars. Xiaohao moving over, seeing what they can do, and this was the setup originally for the Rift Herald that was spawning, but there were some delays. We had to pick up some extra kills, and everybody from Weibo moves on over. Light is actually covering the mid lane during all of that play. zhiqiuyi just does not move from bottom lane, so able to trade another play. You even see now, Harder is going to sit in this mid lane. He's going to crash another wave. And so now they're trading advantages. Harder and zhiqiuyi getting a little bit of a lead. While on the opposite side, it is Weibo who, at least for now, should be able to get some alone time with this top tier 1 and even a Rift Herald for their troubles.
That's really big. So much gold about to go over to Light as well. And any goal in Samir's pocket is something that AL want nothing of. We will see zhiqiuyi getting some gold on the other side with some good plates on his own. And that's actually pretty big because right now it feels like we're in a little bit of Star Wars status. We got the dueling fates going on. And it's a bit of a Xiaohu versus zhiqiuyi setup here with Light maybe hanging on in the wings. He's Obi-Wan in this situation.
Okay, all right. Well, who's our Darth Maul then? Like,
Oh,
who's
God.
coming in and
seeing
pushing?
as how they both don't have a great time, I guess we could go either way.
Okay.
Qui-Gon
fair
or
enough.
Darth Maul for either side.
We could say our Darth Mauls are the top laners. I would definitely expect TheShy or ZDZ to be wheeling double-sided lightsabers. For sure, guys.
Is it because of the RNG or like some of the burger flip status? Maybe you cut your own
Yeah,
arm
of
off?
course, but like, I mean, I think a lot of it is the flashy nature of these two players.
I see.
ZDZ having that backdoor that we got to see and his pop-off coming off of the stage. TheShy as a player for almost his entire career at this point now for what he's known of trying to go for those flashy plays. We got it on the Quinn that last game. And coming off of that, I mean, Light and Crisp, they move back towards bottom lane, and ZDZ is able to grab yet another plate for themselves. So 30 seconds before, Vision, I think, in advantage of AL. You see right now, Xiaohu actually took a back during this time to finish the Kraken Slayer, but it will allow for Xiaohao and Harder to move into this bottom side jungle, clear out some of that vision, and get into a dominant start before this Dragon.
And we saw about 1,000 gold up or harder in zhiqiuyi over the rest of the competition for Weibo. We'll see those item completions also speak to that to some extent. Weiwei does have the Demonic Embrace now, but you got the Dustblade Static Shift combo or the double carries right now of anyone's legend. They're looking to put some pressure onto Xiaohu in mid lane, as Weiwei will have to be here to answer. But this crash should be inevitable, and the push from bottom lane is also good for anyone's legend.
Weibo in a bit of a tough spot right now. I mean, they are basically waiting to see if they can try to make a pick before this play. Chris moving into the mid lane. They're just not able to clear any of this. There's no sweepers available. Weiwei is probably on a one-way mission over that wall.
What? I think they just want to take another fight on the way up, but he takes a big chunk of damage. Crisp. Here's the Nature Grass. Flash comes in. Decisiveness. Lights flashing over. He's trying to stack up the Inferno. Can he get it off? He's getting very low. zhiqiuyi is separating the fight with Harder.
Wait,
Xiaohu, the one we said that needed to step up most, has done so. And we'll see if he can get the flash. One shot, one kill, a triple for Weibo's mid laner.
There he is. He's even rocking the same Omega Squad Tristana. Feels like the General has stepped into the office here. Xiaohu. Be careful, you're walking
But this is
melee
the
range,
bane of any ADC's existence. Xiaohao, though, in some trouble, will end up Arctic assaulting away. But Xiaohu is that man right now in game number 2.
He got to an early disadvantage. We saw that Harder and Xiaohao were winning the early game. And Mazel, it feels like that sinking stomach feel where
ZDZ! He goes for TheShy! He gets the outplay and the return 1v1 from game 1.
All right, someone check in on Pedro. He's having a fun time. He is so happy that TheShy is winning these 1v1s, slamming it. This is what we come to expect from the solo laners here of Weibo Gaming. They are just so dominant when they need to be. They win their 1v1s. And we get this replay of this fight. I mean, it's just so extended. Chris with this immediate re-engage, the flash. And look at where AL put their ultimates, mostly onto Crisp here. And it just turns into free fire, a firing range for Xiaohu.
I will say, zhiqiuyi actually had some really good mechanical moves inside of that fight. But the thing is, when you're facing a double marksman comp, there's always a lot of aggression going your way. And to see Xiaohu be able to navigate that while not getting focused very heavily was huge. But then TheShy takes a couple tower shots up here, being aggressive on the ZDZ, but ends up getting the outplay.
I need the observers to show us how much HP was left on either of them, because their HP bars are starting to overshadow each other. All right, well, it gets close. The Gore Drinker
60.
procs the Q. The Triumph as well probably coming in there for TheShy. Hits level 11 now. What a fantastic game we've got on our hands. It is still AL with a little bit of a lead here. As AL now, look at where Weiwei is. What an insane flank here. Waiting for everybody on the side of AL.
Oh,
okay,
no,
they know Zorah just recalled.
He didn't even know who was still left. He just knew somebody was there. And they have so much CC. Look at the Magnet Store dragging Harder out of the grass there. Oh, goodness. They actually end up giving it to Xiaohu as well. That is heckin' bad. A 6-2 for this man after coming through the journey he had on RNG, trying to make a new legacy with Weibo. It's been incredible to watch as CDZ is trying to make a legacy of solo killing TheShy. TheShy goes right back. TheShy is unlocked. GigaShy wants it. He's hungry, but he doesn't go for it. He will wait to have that meal another day.
He knows that if he overextends for this play, there are members of AL on their way to the top side. And because of that, he's drawing pressure from anyone's legend. He is going to push out this bottom wave. And it's a wave and a half here. No one else is coming down here. ZDZ is probably going to have to teleport for this next play if we saw Xiaohu continue to overextend for this. Harder immediately went towards the mid lane. They want this top tier 1. They want to try and grab this Rift Herald. And TheShy, he just steps right back up. He's going to clear this minion wave. And there's not much, I think, for Weibo to do in this position. So almost it turns into a solo kill. Good respect coming out from Weibo. But now they're going to grab more objectives, more of the standing goal to try to break open the map.
Yeah, a little bit of that lead you were talking about earlier, Freddie, with Legend. That's, yeah. Ooh, oh, Zorah, you just hex flash over the wall. There's a TP coming in. zhiqiuyi is trying to commit to the pit here. He needs to get saved. Can ZDZ make it happen? zhiqiuyi goes down, and a big shutdown actually goes over to TheShy. ZDZ goes down to Light, and all of a sudden, your gold lead is nothing.
There was that sinking feeling that I was talking about where Weibo started turning on their hands. They started getting back into this game, and you gotta feel bad for anyone's legend.
Oh, TheShy.
Here now, I mean, TheShy doesn't know that everyone's here. Okay, well.
Oh, that's always one of those great moments. So you're wondering how Light got here. He will end up going down, even as the Glacial Prison misses. It still would be a big pick out for Harder in the side lane.
Moments before disaster there. Dragon spawning in 20, and they did use quite a bit of their ultimates there. Zorah with no dredge line. Xiaohao now with no Glacial Prison from the Sejuani. So getting a mid-tier 1 as well, they are going to have to over-index. They want to play for this. This is the third Dragon of the game. They do not want to have a repeat of Game 1 where they lost the third Dragon and they weren't able to really come back even from the Rift Herald play. Now setting themselves up for an Ocean Soul point.
This is just an easy calculation from Weibo as well. They're saying, yeah, we really need to wait for third items, especially for Xiaohu, to really have that kick in these fights, because Light is pretty far behind at this point. He'll be getting his second item very shortly, but they're giving themselves a bit of a 5-minute timer till that next dragon comes up and till anyone's legend want to claim the soul. But this also gives a lot of decision-making power to anyone's legend in those next moments, and especially when you factor in the Baron on the top side of the map.
They've got to be careful here. We talked about double marksman comps, and one of the great benefits is that if you are able to get onto an objective, even or ahead, you melt all of them. Any dragon, any baron, any towers, any structures, all of them just disappear in front of you as those marksmen start to whittle away at them. You see right here, playing towards Xiaohu's advantage. They really want to try and get this top tier 2. But everybody from AL is here, and even getting the flash out from weiwei, the ultimate as well.
That was actually a really interesting combo, the Nature's Grasp into the flash as it comes out. But as we've seen time and time again, AL are constantly looking for these catch-outs from Game 1, now in Game 2, on the back end of Weibo making plays. Now, we do get the Gale Force completed there for Light, so we'll have some more mobility in these fights, and that could be a scary option here. But I'm really looking at how AL can set up these fights. They have second items completed. They have a good amount of poke when you're approaching these sections with a lot of vision for them, and they've got to find a way to execute it.
They've got to walk in, take care of all these annoying little saplings, and like you're saying, play around Harder, who is going to be launching the Shock Blast from Fog of War into the opponents. We talk about Varus, it's not like the lethality build. It is not the raw damage ripping through with the Blighted Quiver. It is based on all of the Blight stacks. So with the Hail of Blades, he really needs to be able to get on top of a target there. We talked about it before. The Accelerated Shock Blasts are what are going to get spell shielded away by Light. Yeah. That's going to be the first one, so it means that AL getting another turret, the tier 2 in mid. Such a deep lane for them to play through now. No. Opens up a lot. Xiaohu on the side lane, we talked about it at the beginning of the day. He is a master at this kind of play. And with the Tristana, it feels like it gives him all the tools to be able to do this.
I also hate that he took Demolisher too. It's just
respect.
like the the extra give to taking turrets, and a tier 2 going down over there as well. Just giving that extra gold to Xiaohu means that he's getting ever so closer to 3 items. And we'll see them pick up the tempo once that happens. Now, you got about a 2.5 minute timer for this dragon. Want to see if Weibo want to put any priority around that, or if they're just going to say, let's give a fight towards Elder Dragon. We did just get second item completion for Weiwei, so we have pretty much everything there as long as Weibo want to take a fight as a team.
I wonder if what Weibo can do here is have one of your side laners push really far. Maybe it's TheShy, maybe it's Xiaohu on the opposite side of the map. Push really far and start to threaten to open up the base and have multiple members of anyone's legend start to potentially move on over. And then we see Weibo flip to start up the Baron. Like you're saying, AL as well. They do not want to give over this objective. You see the ping starting to come out. Vision is going to start to get cleared. And you get that sinking feeling, that nervousness from anyone's legend as they get ready. Are they threatening for Baron? Are they going to be looking to start up this objective as more of this becomes darker because of the fog of war?
Oh, no. Lord Tom's just got completed for Xiaohu. All right, I want to see if anyone's legend can get it back off, get some resets, but it looks like they probably won't have time for it. As you see that gold difference over time, it has been a swing in Weibo's favor here. Almost 5,000 gold now. And anyone's legend want to fight. They want to get back into this game, and they are so close to doing so as Weibo will threaten the top side of the map and this Baron pit.
You see that Harder is bottom lane. At any moment you start up this Baron, you can call in that teleport and immediately move out, but you are missing out on the mid pressure, the mid priority here. Zhiqiuyi and AL standing firm, standing resolute.
Oh, Chris, there's nobody there with you, bud. You got to be a little careful, but Light gets his Inferno trigger off and takes down Zorah. This is looking at TheShy here on the other side.
Oh,
and
no,
Light is stepping up now. He says, Xiaohu, it's not only your show, it's mine too, as he helps Xiaohu get one. It's a nice little trade back, but another Inferno trigger back-to-back from Weibo. And it's a beautiful engage from Xiaohu, but Harder will survive. After the dust settles, it is a scrappy fight and a huge trade, but it feels like Weibo getting gold for Xiaohu is the end game.
3 for 2 there, and Xiaohu is able to pop off with more kills. We get a cinematic cam of this. He teleports straight to the bottom lane. He gets 3,000 kills here.
3,000,
congratulations. Even making it almost up there. He's not that far behind Rookie.
118 kills, that's a lot. That's a lot of kills. But congratulations to the general of the mid lane in the LPL, one of our best to ever do it and still do it in Xiaohu. We'll see if he can be that saving grace here for Weibo to slam home a 2-0 as they should, as was foretold in this series. We do have AL contesting this dragon. You have weiwei on the other side with the Nature's Grasp available.
No one
He's got
knows
a
he's
beautiful
there.
flank. He's got such a beautiful flank. And here it comes. AL, you've been duped. You've been engaged on. And you've been Weibo'd. As now you got to get out of this one. It's not looking good. As the Inferno trigger can come through from Light. It's Weibo who stepped to the plate.
They should be able to rotate immediately, grab this dragon. What an insane engage, and great job from Weiwei to find that flank. AL not covering all of their bases. They're going to march on over to this Baron, take this objective immediately, and look to put the finishing touches on this series. Weibo looking to go 2-0. Weibo looking to go 8-5 here and march their way up to that top 4.
Not much contesting that can happen here. AL nowhere nearby, and this double marksman comp does burn. But Harder, you get caught. You thought you could face check it. You can't. As Xiaohu gets another one. This man is on fire in game number 2.
Every kill just gets him closer to Rookie. Just 118. Well, guess what? Now it's
117 now.
Actually, he got 2 because he was at 7 and 2.
116.
So
there you go. Start counting.
Yeah, there you go. We're keeping count here on the broadcast. Weibo, we'll take a look at that replay. Just the fact that there are no wards over here, it is some of that due diligence, something that someone on the side of AL needs to be able to say, clear out some of this vision, put some of our own, and make sure that we're covering all of our bases, because if you have fights like this, this will happen regardless of the map state, regardless of how much gold. That is just, you know, a lack of vision from them to be able to make sure that they're safe, that they can take this dragon, so it stops their soul. And I think it's so heart-crushing right there that they're so close to getting a soul, And now the game just completely runs away from them. It's only 5,000 in terms of the gold lead, but it's another 5 minutes they have to wait potentially, and a Baron that they're staring down the whole time.
And the thing is they didn't need to fight over that dragon. I think that's some of the restraint that I love to see in the LPL sometimes, realizing when you're not set up in a position, right? You don't see vision down there. You pull off the play because that is what Weibo are looking for. They know, they should know that they're trying to get an engage with the Nature's Grasp, and that will always be coming when you're setting up around an objective. They don't do their due diligence, and here we are with everything coming down into Weibo's pockets. We do see another tier 2 should just fall to Xiaohu here, and it actually goes over to TheShy, at least with the final tick. But now with everything busted out, there's just this tier 2 tower in the mid lane that Weibo have their eyes on.
Small win there.
Maybe they have a little bit of crocodilian in their eyes too. TheShy gets caught in the side lane. Something we've seen more often than not, I feel like, from TheShy. We'll see actually Zorah trying to go for a bit of Hex Flash. Here's the Nature's Grasp, and over the wall goes Chris, trying to get the crash down out. The CC is just enough. Light gets another one, and the tower falls.
I was going to compliment the fact that Weibo, they didn't have their waves crashing at the same time, so it did set up for AL to find that pick. That immediate re-engage coming out from Chris. He finds it, he jumps actually back out, and Xiaohu now, level 15, almost level 16. He has 3 items, he has a stopwatch, and his flash is coming back up before this next fight. It only gets tougher and tougher for the side of anyone's legend. As right here, there's no wave in mid lane. This is the only play that AL have available to them that is winning. So I love that, again, they're having that resiliency. They're having that, still that killer instinct to say, we are still looking for a fight. But it's Maokai Ultimate coming out of Fog of War through the terrain. It's so difficult for you to see this ability. So a great pick from Weibo as they open up more of this map. They take all of the outer turrets. AL are going to have to really push outside of their base, out of the side of their comfort zone if they want to contest for this Ocean Soul.
CAL pushing out here. A little bit of vision this time. Maybe looking at the bot side vision, though, a little bit more. It is still a lot of control by Weibo. And, a GA there completed for Xiaohu as well, that level 16 mark. He did end up getting 3 items, or at least a majority of members. I will say from AL side, they also do have their 3 item spikes for Harder and zhiqiuyi, but will it matter with this amount of difference in their pockets between Weibo and AL?
They're on item parity, right? We're talking about what is going to happen from the mid lane. Xiaohu with a Guardian Angel. Well, it just gets harder, and I want AL to at least experience some joy at the end of the season. I want them to be able to find some wins because this is a fun roster when we look at it. The developmental pieces that we've been talking about, it hasn't been the best season for them, but the highs that we get from them just look awesome. We see Harder and Xiaohao able to find those advantages, and here on the Sejuani, it just doesn't feel like it's been working. I mean, Harder had a great lead to start, but has either been face checking or really falling into the pitfalls. These team fights have not been going their way. We need to see them landing relevant poke onto the backline members. This just comes from so much engage from Weibo.
Whoa, a little bit of Chains of Corruption action there, and a nice little engage from TheShy. He goes golden buying so much time, and now you got Reset City, population Weibo, as they are decimating, eviscerating, destroying anyone's legend. That's a triple kill for the general in the mid lane. Stoic as ever, as Weibo, they have done the checks, they have gone through the paperwork, they spent the day at the office, but business has been handled.
Weibo, they're going to take this series 2-0. They're going to go 8-5 here. Unfortunately here for AL, 4-10, their series score. I don't think they're going to be able to make playoffs, and I don't think that was necessarily the expectation for this roster. It was how much could we see from these new players, some of these new players. Weibo, in typical Weibo fashion, maybe not doing it in the cleanest fashion, but Xiaohu just picking up more and more kills. That's the end of the game.
It is 13-2-4 for Xiaohu, 5-0-9 for Light. An incredible come up, and Xiaohu will try and get his GA pop one more time, but the game is over, and Weibo a 2-0 in handled fashion, and a great come up from them, trying to find stability once again.
Weibo's schedule has not been the easiest. There have been a couple of weeks where they should have been able to take layups. They went 2-1 versus RA in week 3. They fall to BLG in week 4. Losing to FPX, I think, we talk about the back-to-back losses when you're losing to BLG and then FPX. People start to get a little bit antsy. They start to say, is this really the shape of the team? Are we going to continue to see them